Okay, so this is an instructional video of how to weave a basket with the Weaving Wonders basket kit. This is it. It comes with a set of instructions, a bundle of raffia, a selection of sticks, and a base. In fact, the kits that I sell have 2 of everything, so you can make 2 baskets, or a basket and a teepee, but I'm just going to show you how to do the basket first off. So in the first instance, we need to soak the sticks. So just pop your sticks. They only need to be submerged up to, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches, and just dampen the ends. If you leave those to soak for sort of 5-10 minutes, that should be ample. These are already wet because they've just been cut. Right, so once you've got your sticks, you need to make the base. This is pre-drilled with 13 holes, and you start by threading. I'm just going to try and catch the light properly so you can see. 1, 2, 3 sticks through. It's a bit fiddly. If you're helping a younger child to do it, then it's quite easy. As an adult, you can sort of hold the sticks and offer the base for the child to actually bend the sticks round. But once you've got your first 3 sticks through, you need to, I'm going to do this upside down, take the first stick and pass it in front of its adjacent cane, and then tuck it behind the next one along. It only needs to have about 2 or 3 mil just to clip it together. Once you've done that, take another stick, feed it through, and then the next one along, pass in front and tuck behind. If it's not quite long enough, just remove it, feed it a little bit further along out, and then in front and behind. Another stick, and go in front and behind. And as you work round, you'll find you're making a pattern, and all the sticks clip each other together and hold themselves in place. So just be quite firm. When they're well soaked, they'll bend rather than split and fracture. In front and behind. And you stick in front and behind. And you just keep going until, just rip this up quickly. Obviously, I've been doing this a while, so it doesn't take me long. But right, so the last 3, we go in front and behind, and then we want to take the very first one that we threaded through and just push it up slightly to form a little bridge, and then you go on the outside and then tuck in behind the bridge post. And this last one you need to bring round the outside, bend it carefully and tuck it inside so it clips behind, and then push the bridge down, and that is your base. Okay, once the base is done, we need to just straighten it up slightly, just give each of the sticks a little tug just to try and get it a little more perpendicular, I suppose. Just keep going the whole way round. It doesn't matter if they're a little bit on the wonk, because once we start weaving that won't notice at all, but that's the base as is. Okay, in the kit you'll also have a bunch of raffia. Unravel this as best you can. Give it a little shake out. This isn't a huge quantity of colours. Normally I'll send out much more variety, but this is just what I had to hand. But to start, we need to select one strand, which if you just pull it gently from the top, that will release. And then you tie that with just the normal knot onto a first stick. That's all it needs, just to secure it. And once you're there, you're ready to weave. Now, I tend to go in front and actually, like finger knitting, pull the stick down, pass the thread behind, in front and behind. This one in front and behind, and just keep going round until you're back where you started. And you should find that when you go in front of the last post, you wind up behind the post that you were previously in front of. I don't know if you can see that. In front and behind, in front and behind, and you just keep going until you come to the end of your raffia. I'm going to put a brighter colour on this time so that hopefully you'll see a little more clearly. So I'm going to take this purple and just tie that end to end. Just a normal brief knot is fine. If you want to, you can snip the loose tails off just to keep it a little bit tidier, and you're off again. So that was in front, so this one goes behind, in front, behind. Other ways of doing it, I have to adjust the camera slightly, is just weaving in and out and then pushing down occasionally. So in, out, in, out. And what you don't need to do is be tempted to pull it too tightly, because then the basket starts caving in on itself, which creates a teepee, which is a lovely thing in itself. But in another video I'll show you actually how to do a teepee with a door, a deliberate teepee as opposed to an accidental teepee. But just keep going round and keep tying end to end the raffia as and when you need. Okay, so I've been doing this a little while now, and I'm now, well, have done this much. That's actually one strand per colour, so you can see it doesn't take much. So I'm just going to do this last row. It's in front, behind, in front, behind, and you can see as I'm working round, I'm holding it between the sticks to try and kind of keep it squished down and keep a nice distance on the sticks. There we are, in front, behind, and the raffia is just a natural fibre, so it's actually leaves from kind of a palm tree, I believe. So yeah, they're sometimes a bit scraggly looking, but we'll tidy those up with scissors when we get to the end. So last bit, and we just want to just do really simple knot just around and tie it onto the last post just to secure it. There we are, that's all it needs. Trim that end, and that is the beginnings of your basket. As I say, if you squish it right down, it shrinks quite dramatically, but the nature of the raffia, it's quite bouncy. So what we need to do now is trim the ends. In order to get the right length for the ends, you need for each stick to be able to, and bending it, use your thumb as a pivot point, bend it in front and behind and just tuck it in. And these don't actually need trimming, but if they're too long, just use some secateurs and just snip the ends off to the length that you need. Before we actually bend them all, I'm going to pop them back in the water. I've filled up my jug now, so it reaches, actually I will trim the ends so we can reach right to the top, because it's the very top is the bit that needs to bend the most, so it needs to be properly soaked. So I've just trimmed the top slightly and back in the water. There we go, and that can soak for 5 minutes, should be ample. Okay, so the ends have been soaked for a little bit, and now I'm going to show you how to finish the top. As I say, the important thing is to use your thumb or your finger as the support to bend the sticks again, because the raffia is quite soft and it will just give way. So I'm going to do this upside down, using your finger or thumb to bend against. Fold the stick in front of its neighbour and behind the adjacent one, and then tuck it down inside the basket. It creates a little loop. The next one goes in front of its neighbour and then behind, and tuck it down, and creating these loops. So that's bending still against my finger, in front, behind, and tuck down inside, in front, behind, and tuck down inside. And again, we're creating a pattern. So in front, behind, and tuck down. I'm just going to do these ones quickly. So in front, behind, and tuck down. Last three again, in front, behind, and tuck down. Last one, in front and behind, tuck down. And the very last one, it needs to come in front and then bend it round and poke it through that last loop and tuck down. And then you can just work back round and adjust the height if you need to. Just even it out, and ta-da, that's your basket. And then just with some craft scissors, just do what I like to call the haircut. These little scraggy ends just can be trimmed off, and on the inside, so snipping off the ends, shake out the bibs and bobs, and that is a basket. I'll be posting an instruction for building a teepee and also showing you how to make some little decorations, butterflies and hearts and stuff if you're interested, and how to plait a handle if you wanted to put a handle on it. But yeah, have a look. The website's got some detail, and that is www.weavingwonders.co.uk. That's there. Lovely, thank you.